Alright, what's good guys, welcome back. I want to talk about the top 5 league starters that I would actually recommend for players. In this video I will cover bossing characters, bossing builds, mapping builds and overall just a nice well-rounded build. Most of these builds are from people that are well respected, well known from the community, so you definitely know that these are not bait builds. With that being said, let me start with number 1. Okay, so the first build that I want to talk about is actually SST Bleed Gladiator. Now, Spectral Shield Throw. It was the meta skill in 3.15, that was the pinnacle of the Spectral Shield Throw meta, but it is actually back. With the implementation of Eldritch currencies and the new reworked uniques, you can easily put together a well-rounded SST Bleed Gladiator. For the most part, this build is actually a mapping character. It has extremely fast clear because of the bleed explosions. It can get quite tanky. It is actually solo self-found friendly. And with a little bit of investment, it has no problem killing EoW, Maven, or any of the bosses that you wanna kill. Now, why am I even talking about SST Bleed Gladiator in 3.19? The BritishExile actually put together a full-blown build guide for SST Bleed Gladiator. He covers the leveling, he covers the build, he covers the gearing, and everything basically that you want from a league starter build guide. So obviously, link is in the description to his YouTube video, where you can actually check it out for yourself. Alright, number 2, it's gonna be Eye of Winter Inquisitor Miner. This is the build that PathOfMatth made in the last couple of days. He did all the testing from the very beginning all the way to the end game with low budget gear, with medium budget gear and with high budget gear. This character is gonna be your resident bosser this league. It's safe to assume that this build will take over Seismic Trap when it comes to softcore trade, and let's be honest with ourselves. Quite frankly, I have never played a bad PathOfMatth build. Tornado Shot was a huge success, Seismic Trap was a huge success, so I really have nothing else to say about this build. As I said, this is a really potent bossing character. Link is obviously in the description for his build guide. Alright, so on number 3, we have Spectral Helix into Lightning Strike. Now, this build you can play as a champion, as a raider, as a berserker. You will definitely find one that suits your needs. Raider offers easy access to spell suppression, offers onslaught, and a bunch of quality of life things when we are talking about Raider. Also, if you are planning to do infinite heist this league start for your early currency gains, you cannot go wrong with Raider because you pretty much want onslaught and you want phasing. Champion is obviously the tanky version of Raider, offering fortification and everything else that comes with Champion. Honestly, I would not recommend this for softcore trade. However, if you wanna try it out, be my guest, this is one of the strongest builds. And obviously, after you make your transition from Spectral Helix into Lightning Strike, we all know that Lightning Strike is extremely strong, even with the nerfs when it comes to Omniscience. If you want the best of both worlds, you should go Berserker. As far as I'm concerned, Berserker didn't get hit with any of the nerf hammer. There's only one downside when it comes to Berserker, and that is it's gonna be more taxing on your hand. You need to press a bunch more buttons than with the other two ascendancies. Number 4, we have Poisonous Concoction as an Occultist or a Pathfinder. Now, when it comes to the debate of should you go Pathfinder or should you go Occultist, there is simply one answer to that whole debate. If you are more experienced and you wanna do mapping real fast, you wanna do expedition for example, you should go Occultist. If you are not familiar with the playstyle of Poisonous Concoction and you don't necessarily want to do 3 gem swaps, then you should go Pathfinder. Pathfinder overall is a better character. The Ascendancy actually synergizes really well with the Poisonous Concoction skill, so there is pretty much that. This build will be your mapping character, your fast pushing mapping character. It will have hard times when it comes to bossing. However, you can definitely kill Maven, EoW with this build. Leveling as a Pathfinder is way easier than as an Occultist. With Pathfinder, simply at level 12 you will equip your Poisonous Concoction, and up until the very end game you can use that skill. However, with the Occultist version you need to do Stormblast Mines into Armageddon Brand at level 28, and then around level 60 is when you actually switch to Poisonous Concoction. So definitely take these things into consideration when you are choosing your ascendancy. Alright, on number 5 I actually have 2 builds for you, and these builds mostly apply for the experienced softcore trade players. Both of these builds got nerfed in the patch notes. However, after some testing with decent investment, both of these builds are actually still absolutely insane. I'm talking about, of course, Explosive Arrow, Ballistas and Seismic Trap. Out of these 2 builds, Seismic Trap was the one that got hit harder, namely a 30% damage nerf on all gem levels. However, if you can get your clusters running and with some decent gear, you can still absolutely one-shot the endgame bosses. I'm not even talking about the cold convert version, which is known to be the way stronger version of Seismic Trap. I truly believe if you are experienced and you can get a few Exiles or Divines, it actually feels bad to even say that, you can still absolutely destroy the whole endgame with Seismic Trap. Of course, after the nerfs to the damage and to the cooldown, it's way harder to recommend this build to anyone. I'm of course talking about the crit version of Seismic Trap and not the poison version. Poison variant is probably absolutely donezo with the nerfs to the ailment, focus and the cooldown. And another build that I wanted to talk about here is actually EE Ballistas. Now, EE Ballistas got nerfed by 20%, which is probably not enough to push this build out of the meta. With a well-crafted bow and some decent gear, you can still push up to 30 to 35 mil DPS with this build even after the nerfs. It's absolutely ridiculous how strong this build is, and even with the nerfs to the spell suppression, you can still get spell suppress cap, you can get ailment immunity, and you obviously run Grease Determination and Defiance banner. So if you factor in everything I just talked about, you can clearly see that this build is still really strong. Now you can play this as a champion or you can play as an elementalist, which I would highly recommend if you are playing softcore trade, just because of the easy access to more damage and more AoE. And lastly, I wanna give an honorable mention to IceTrap. With the changes to the Sunblast belt, it seems like that you can actually get some really good damage numbers on IceTrap. One big concern with this build is your clear, just because how Sunblast actually works. Basically, that belt will make your traps into grenades, meaning that whenever an enemy actually walks over your traps, it won't automatically trigger, it will have a built-in timer for the explosion. This belt actually got nerfed since the patch notes. Originally it was you could throw up to 3 traps, but now they actually changed it to be only 2 traps. That's the only reason why I would be a bit cautious when it comes to IceTrap. Alright, so there you have it, my top 5 or 7 you should say league starters of this upcoming 3.19 expansion. Keep in mind, if you have a build that you have your eyes on, you should 100% do practice runs with those builds. Now obviously this doesn't apply to the new revert uniques. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful league start. Drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys very soon.